spread over 130 acres in Hyderabad, a campus that's lush and green, always buzzing with ideas and innovation, with state-of-the-art research centers, 3D printing and prototyping laboratories, India's first university to drive digital transformation of higher education, powered by emerging technologies, enabled by innovation hubs. It's time to reimagine higher education, to educate future citizens for and of a better world.
The Mahindra Group has a significant presence in Hyderabad, especially after the acquisition of Satyam. Hyderabad also provides great infrastructure and a metropolitan lifestyle for faculty and students. Finally, with many of India's leading research laboratories and multinational corporations, Hyderabad is an ideal location for interaction between industry and academia.
Mahindra University, global thinkers, engaged leaders.
Good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday, so let's get started, and we will spend the next 1 hour. We will try and understand the program. Awesome. I just need one thing from you as we get into this session, to make it interactive and not to make it just like a lecture. If I ask you any questions, please answer in the Q&A box or the questions box, right? So that I can get a sense of how you are thinking about those questions. You cannot use the chat box. Type up your answers in the questions box. Okay, and I would love you to ask a lot of questions and of course answer my questions as well. Fantastic. All of you see ads like these on a daily basis on your mobile phones, in your email inbox. When you visit different websites, you get many different types of video ads, banner ads, and so on and so forth. The question is, can you guess what percentage of people actually click on these ads? That is, for every 100 people who see ads like these, how many do you think actually click on these ads? Any guesses? Take a shot. 25% from Shreyas. Okay. More? I would like to see more. 5%, 5%, reasonable. 20%. Okay, fantastic. Now, it turns out that many of you are off by a few 100 percentage points, right? The actual click percentage on ads like these is as low as you're seeing on the screen. In fact, the one on the left side, the Zomato ad, the percentage is a little bit more because there is a 50% off coupon. If typically there are no coupons, the click-through rate could be as low as 0.5%. Now, that is shocking if you think about it, because everybody seems to believe that advertising, especially on digital channels, is as easy as it can get. Now, to add to this, if you ask a question, how much do Indian companies spend on digital advertising and digital marketing in every year? You will see that the amount is as high as 15,000 crores, which is $2.5 billion. And this number is increasing by about 5 to 6% every year. Now, the reason I asked this question is one of the biggest challenges that companies have today is to increase and improve the advertising effectiveness, because there are so many, I would say every single company worth its salt is advertising using digital channels, and they are desperately trying to understand how they can stand out in this clutter. This could be a very interesting business challenge to solve in the near future. The second is even better. I'm pretty sure some of you are from Hyderabad and you have been to IKEA, right? And of course, there are many more IKEAs coming up across the country. It's a very interesting story. The researchers at IKEA were trying to understand why the customer conversion rate is not high as they expected. Anyway, so the story I was telling you is IKEA researchers were trying to understand why the conversion rate in terms of the number of people who actually end up buying the furniture in the store is not as high as they expected. Because when they surveyed people, all of you have been to the IKEA store, at least some of you have been to the IKEA store. When they surveyed people during their tour of the store, they saw that people were really excited about the furniture. They were very attracted to the pricing and everything. But then when it came to the actual conversion, that is putting the furniture in the cart, the percentage was getting lower and lower. So what they realized when they deeply studied customer behavior and they did surveys is there are two big problems that customers face when they buy furniture. One is customers are unable to envision the furniture in their homes and offices, right? Because the decor of the home might be different from the way it is displayed in the store. And one of the big doubts that customers have is, does this furniture really fit into the decor of my store? That's a big question. The second, and even probably a bigger problem, is the size of the furniture. Most of us don't really plan that much. It's not like we take measurements of our rooms, we really understand how big our rooms are. And when we go to the store, we like the furniture, but then we really don't understand whether the furniture will fit nicely into the size of the room as well. And because of these two big reasons, right, customers were finally, because of these two doubts, they were unable to make that final call as to whether to buy the furniture or not. And this is exactly how IKEA solved the furniture problem using AR, VR technologies. Let me explain it to the audience. What IKEA has done is they have essentially created an app where you can basically take the app home and then you can scan the catalog, IKEA's catalog using the app. And then if you point that app to the room, right, IKEA will, the app will essentially put the furniture virtually in that room so that you can actually envision the size, the color, the shape and everything. And based on that, you can truly envision whether the furniture truly fits into your home decor or not. And with that simple technology, which is AR, VR based app, they were able to remove that final shred of doubt that is in the customer's mind. And through that, they were able to increase the conversion rates. In fact, I'm pretty sure many of you have seen this in our Pepperfry, the Indian company Pepperfry. Even their app now uses the AR, VR technology to help customers envision furniture in their homes, right? This is a good way of using technology to solve a serious business problem, if you think about it. The third story, which all of you are aware, or at least the company all of you are aware, is if I ask you a question, what is Amazon's secret to success? Why is it that Amazon is such a dominant company and is able to kill every single competition across the world, right? Or the question is, why is it that the Amazon e-commerce website is such a powerful website? You will see that there is one simple answer. If you remove all the layers, you will see that there is one fundamental underlying technology that Amazon uses, which is better than any other company the way they use it. The term that is technically used for this kind of technology is called as recommendation systems or recommender systems. If you have time after the webinar, I would urge you to go to Google and study this because it's a very interesting type of technology. Now, the idea is pretty simple. Whenever you go to the Amazon website, you see what you're seeing on the screen. There are so many suggestions given to you, right? There's so many different types of things that are shown to you. And many times, right, based on your previous history of search and the kinds of things that you've bought, you look at these things and say, okay, maybe I'll need this. And then you click on it, you end up buying, right? So in fact, the entire Amazon website, including the reviews, the way the products are displayed to you whenever you search something, the way the recommendations are given to you is all determined by this powerful recommendation system. Now, if you ask the question, how powerful is this recommendation system, or how much does it really help Amazon? A statistic, research done by McKinsey, shows that close to 30% of Amazon's revenues come because people click on the recommendations shown by the recommender system. So 30% for Amazon is basically about $120 billion, right? All because of a layer of algorithm that underlines the e-commerce website. Now, you have to appreciate the fact that building an e-commerce website is not as simple as building just a website and posting some photos and saying, hey, buy here. It is about developing the front end so that it is very useful to the customers, developing the technology layer so that whatever the customers see is driven by data and suggestions and things like that. And more importantly, if you think about it, developing the backend. And when we say backend, the supply chain, right? What kind of products do we display, and how fast can the products be really shipped to the customers, right? If unless you do these three things together very well, at which many good companies like Amazon and Flipkart are masters at, it is impossible to create a successful e-commerce website. So my question to you at the start of this session, and you can answer it again in the questions box, is do these kinds of stories excite you? Are you excited about technology driven business challenges and business solutions? What is your answer? Fantastic. I'm happy with the fact that so many have so many have said yes, because this is essentially the entire purpose of the program, right? If you ask a question, how do you develop a career in technology? There are two ways of doing it. One is what you see at the top, which is technology development, which is you use different kinds of technologies, programming languages, all those things to develop cool technologies. Now that's a career by itself. But if you think about it, there is no use for technology unless it can be really used or deployed to solve the customer's problems, right? BBA Digital Technologies is all about this particular zone. What you'll be trained in this program is not how to develop technology, but you will gain an understanding of how technology is actually developed. Now, not from the technology point of view, but from the business point of view, so that now you can deploy the technology to be used successfully to attract and retain customers. Because from a business perspective, this part, as you can see, the one highlighted by the red box, is probably way more important than the technology development itself. And that is exactly the purpose of the program. When we developed this program, obviously, we do come from a technology background. We have worked across the world, consulted with many companies, and we have spoken to many industry experts, senior experts who are at the top of their game. We arrived at this point where we asked this question: what does it take for somebody to succeed in a technology-driven business future? We see that it is important for you to develop a digital mind. Now, what exactly is a digital mind? A digital mind, if you think about it, should have 5 very important dimensions. And that is exactly what you're seeing on the screen. A digital mind today, a digital business leader, should be able to truly understand the importance of digital marketing and e-commerce. The reason being, more and more customers are going on to technology platforms, both for searching for products and services, for getting information, as well as for buying products and services. And even if customers end up buying offline, their information search is going more and more online. So from that angle, it is now important to understand how customers move from one channel to another. And that is exactly what you need to understand in the digital marketing perspective. Of course, a big part of digital marketing is also understanding social media, because social media has become an integral part of business today. The second thing that you need to understand is the back end of how technologies play a role inside organizations. Because just putting technology in the front end, as we discussed earlier, is not just, it is not the only thing you need to do. You need to connect it back to how things are happening within the organization, your ERPs, your supply chain systems. And that is the second layer of knowledge that you need to have, which is what kind of technologies are playing a role in organizations today. Is it ERP? Is it supply chain? Is it AI ML based, some kind of a platform that helps companies truly integrate both the back end and the front end? The third, and I would say one of the most important dimensions for digital mind, is data analytics, data intelligence, and visualization. I'm pretty sure you have read a lot of articles, you have seen a lot of people talk about this. They say data is the future, data is the new oil. If you put aside the jargon, why is it that everybody is saying data is the future? In fact, I would say data is the present, not just the future. The reason is that incredible amounts of information passed through data, digital platforms nowadays. So if you are smart as a smart business leader, you should be able to understand and crunch this data to take out the necessary insights from that, which can eventually help you create better business strategies. And I would say that is a very, very important skill for business leaders today. The fourth dimension that you need to develop is have a general sense of the technology landscape around, because you will be playing in that landscape. You will be using a lot of technologies. You may not buy them directly, you may not deploy them inside your organization, but you will still rely on them when you do business. So that could mean advertising platforms, that could mean ad networks, that could mean CRM systems like Salesforce. All of these, they don't reside technically within the organization. You're not developing them, but at the same time you are using them to do business, and you need to understand all of those things. And finally, given all the big changes that are happening across the world, cybersecurity and privacy is becoming a very important topic. If you want to play the game of business today, you really have to understand this topic, because more and more customers and more governments are pushing this aspect, which is cybersecurity and privacy. And if you don't really respect this particular topic, then you will be kicked out of the game, as you know, the business game, basically, as we can think about it, right? So the question is, how do we, when I say we, how does the program train you in these 5 different dimensions of a digital mind? So how does the program actually look, the 3-year program? If I were to summarize the whole program in one single slide, which is not easy, but if I were just to give you a sense of how the program will look, this is exactly how the program is structured over the 3-year period. Spend about a 15-second time on it. It's very easy. As you come into the program, the first year is focused heavily on business foundations. Now, what exactly do we mean by business foundations? I'll explain that to you. As you finish the first year, in the summer of next year, which is 2022, you will be going to Cornell for the 3-week Cornell immersion. I'll explain what really happens there. Once you come back, you will move to year 2, wherein now you will be trained in the digital foundational topics or courses. Once you finished year 2, you will head for your summer internship, intensive internship. And once you come back from the internship, then you will jump into the core specializations of the digital program. And subsequently that summer, which is 2024, you will be developing your digital portfolio. I'll again explain what that really means. And then placements will be happening parallelly. And then that is basically how you exit the program, hopefully on a very high. Let me give you some details on each layer. As I told you, as you come in the first year, you will be trained in the business foundations, because one, this is a BBA program. The core is business, right? And even to think of how technology can be used in business, you have to truly understand some of the very basics of business. So here we are talking about the basics of management, the basics of marketing and consumer behavior, macro and microeconomics. Critical thinking and problem solving is becoming a topic that every company is now asking for. In fact, I would say go to the job descriptions or job listings of many of the top companies today, IT companies as well as consulting companies, and you will see one term. It doesn't matter what kind of job, this one term keeps coming up. They will insist on the fact that the prospective candidate should have critical thinking and problem solving skills. And that is a program that we'll have in the first year as well. Obviously, given that you will be dealing with some amount of data, although this is not a math intensive course, you will need to have some amount of training in statistics. And then subsequently, we are talking about management information systems or decision support systems, wherein, as we talked about the need to understand the internal technology landscape, this course will tell you how organizations are set up when it comes to technology layers, what is the value of technology or information technology in organizations, and how can you as a future manager think about information systems inside organizations. That summer, you will head to Cornell for your 3-week Cornell immersion. Now, we are very excited about the Cornell immersion because you will be doing a lot of exciting things there. By the way, just to give you a perspective, the photo on the top is the Cornell Ithaca campus in upstate New York, and the photo at the bottom is the Cornell Tech campus, which is on a small island in New York City. You will first go to the Ithaca campus, the Cornell main campus. You will spend a lot of time with the professors there. You will take courses. And by the way, this is not just an excursion program. This is a 4-credit program where you will be taking classes with Cornell professors. You will be taking exams, and then you will be actually getting grades on this one. You will do entrepreneurship programs. For example, you might interact with the local industry in Ithaca, and you will be pitching business ideas to them, and there'll be presentations and so on and so forth. Once you're about to finish there, you will stay on the campus, you will do this entire program. In the last 2-3 days, you will come to the Cornell Tech campus in New York City. And this is the new campus that Cornell has built. It is an independent campus where a lot of technology companies end up doing a lot of activities there. And in the 3 or 2 days that you will spend in the Cornell Tech campus, you will have a lot of interactions with the local business leaders, local tech industry, and so on and so forth. That will be the Cornell immersion. Once you come back from the Cornell immersion, you will be entering the second year, wherein now you will start training in digital foundations. Here, now, what exactly do we mean by digital foundations? To understand the big topics in technology, you first need to have the basic layer of technology, right? The basic understanding of technology, or what we call as the digital core or the digital foundations. For example, you will take courses in coding and software development. Now, this is about understanding the fundamentals of coding. How do you build an algorithm? But more importantly, how do you convert customer specifications into a software? Now, that is a very important skill because ultimately, as we discussed, the role of technology is to solve customers' problems. You will learn how to develop websites using different methodologies. You will probably learn how to build apps using some of the methods that are typically used in companies today. That same year, you will take a course in digital marketing and social media. Now, this lays the basic foundation to understand what exactly do we mean by digital marketing, what exactly do we mean by online advertising, what are the different types of advertising platforms available, what are the different types of online advertising methods available, and so on and so forth. This is also the year where you'll start training in data sciences and with the very popular language Python. You will get trained in data analytics, data visualization, and business intelligence. And I would say one of the most important topics of this course, which is user interface and user experience design. Now, combined with coding and software development, this course will train you in the modern methodologies of how to create awesome technology interfaces and how to create awesome user experiences. In fact, every single website that you visit nowadays is because there is a serious UI UX team that is truly thinking about that website from your perspective. How do we develop this website so well that it becomes very intuitive and easy to use for the customers? And with all these skills laid out in the first 2 years, you will head to the internship program in summer 2. As you know, especially in any program, especially in a program like this, which is both a combination of application and knowledge, internship becomes very important because here you get to really apply the skills that you have learned in the first 2 years. We are talking to a lot of exciting tech companies who want to partner with us and work with you to give you these kinds of skills and also get you in as interns and maybe even employees. At the appropriate time, when we finalize the agreements with them, we will let you that. But you can be rest assured that Mahindra will stand behind you when it comes to putting you in the right kind of internship programs and in the right kind of companies. And of course, once you come back from the 6-week internship, which itself is again a 4-credit course, you will eventually get into the final year of your program, wherein now you will get into the digital specializations. Now, what do we mean by digital specializations? We will dig deep into e-commerce. We will dig deep into data and data analytics. We will understand the importance of connected technologies, what we call as Internet of Things. You will take courses in cybersecurity and privacy and truly understand from a business angle, what does it really mean, right? And then you will also take courses in management consulting, because today, especially, if you are graduates of programs like these, two types of companies that will hire you are tech companies and consulting companies, where there is a lot of work going on in the digital space. And obviously, a big part of these companies' job, if you forget the technology development part of it, the business side of it, is consulting with clients, truly helping the clients of these companies develop technologies and use technologies for business. And hence, consulting skills become very, very important. And we will train you in consulting methodologies, right? And as you're going through all these years, you will, entrepreneurship is the underlying layer of the entire program. You will be trained in the theories of entrepreneurship. You will be trained in the methods of becoming an entrepreneur. And parallelly, you will be working, if you really want to, you can be working with the incubator cell to, if you really have ideas that you want to develop as an entrepreneur, you can develop your ideas with the help of consultants and professors. You can pitch these ideas to the incubator cell, and who knows, there is a possibility that you might get a funding. You can get incubated within Mahindra University and launch your, the startup if you really want. One thing which you will not see in any program of this type is we have something called as the portfolio, the digital portfolio for this program, but portfolio in general. Now, what exactly do we mean by portfolio? A portfolio is a compendium, right, of basically a brochure of your skills. You will be picking up a lot of skills as you go through different courses and different workshops and things like that, the internship in the 3 years. What you will see is you will be developing some very core skills. Some of you might end up becoming, really good in UI UX. Some of you might end up getting more excited about e-commerce platforms. Some of you might get more excited about, Internet of Things or something similar, right? That becomes your core skill, in which you will probably develop a certification or, an exam or something like that. And then you will have all these different skills, what we call as the supplementary skills that support this core skill. The idea behind a portfolio is so that you can showcase all of these skills to prospective employers and, even maybe for higher education. For example, let's say you get interested in UI UX design. You will be working on that for the 3 years. You will be developing websites and, trying to explain to people how UI and UX will become part of your website development. And that becomes your core skill. You actually showcase that website, you showcase the code, you showcase how you went through the UI UX methodology to develop that website, and then how you will now use the different skills like digital marketing and e-commerce and things like that to make this website more useful to the customers. And that is a portfolio that you can present to the prospective employers, for example, because they not only get to see your resume, but they also get to see the kind of actual work that you have done in the 3 years. And that will obviously have much bigger impression on prospective employers than just telling them what you have done or just putting a few words on a resume. I'm hoping all of you are with me so far. You have a lot of questions. So I will finally end, in the sense that my own talk, with one final slide. An obvious question is, what kind of careers are possible with a program like this? As I said, we have spoken to a lot of companies, we have spoken to a lot of industry leaders, and the whole program is from that side and not purely from our side as well, right? And if you look at the kind of skills that you'll be picking up in this program, you will see that these are the kinds of roles for which you will be eligible. Now, let me explain that these are not the only types of roles, but these are the usual kind of roles that will end up that you will end up doing. one of the most common roles for which you will become super eligible will be business analyst. Now, business analysts play a very important role as a bridge between customers and technology developers, because as a business analyst, you will understand the business needs of the customers. Doesn't matter whether it's a B2B customer or a B2C customer, and then use those insights and convert them into language that can be explained to the technology developers. So business analysts play a very important role in IT and consulting companies, and that is one role for which you will be eligible. UI UX designers, that is becoming a very important role because more and more companies are desperately looking to create very usable and intuitive technologies. Now that is something that you will be trained in. E-commerce is proliferating across the world, not just India, right? The number of people who are buying online has gone up drastically over the last 1 year because of the pandemic, and it is growing like crazy every year. So e-commerce will not only become a thing for e-commerce companies, but e-commerce will become a thing even for regular companies. So e-commerce specialist is a role that is slowly growing across industries, and that is something that you will be eligible for. Of course, digital marketing, everywhere, every company worth its salt is now getting into digital marketing, and this is something that you can easily get into with the kind of skills that you'll pick up in this program. And then something very interesting happens at your level. The term is management trainee. Even though management trainee seems like a very small role, right? The name itself doesn't really sound that exotic. It's actually a very important role that is, now being created in companies. This is actually a very premium role. Management trainee position, for example, let's say a company comes and interviews all the people in the program. Management trainee role is actually given to a very few people because this is for that premium category, right? A company sees a spark in you. A company believes that you are management material, you are top management material. So they will pick up 1 or 2 out of, let's say, a batch of 30, and they'll put you in management roles, and they'll train you in management roles with the assumption that you will slowly pick up management skills and start, moving up the ladder in the company. Now, if you are able to develop yourself in a very holistic, comprehensive manner, including all the skills that we talked about so far, that is a role that is right up there, and it is one of the most exciting roles in many companies today. But this is the broad story of BBA Digital Technologies. Now I would like to open it up for questions. Any kind of questions, please don't hesitate. Type it up in the questions box, and I will be more than happy to answer these. Okay, all right. Yeah, most of it is slideshow issues. Okay. Okay, what is the possibility of the 4th year? We are discussing it. Obviously the UGC and the new education policy does give us the power to add a 4th year in different ways. We still haven't really added that to the program as yet. But yes, we are obviously thinking about that because higher education abroad is a big possibility for many of the students. And so a couple of things that we have discussed. One is a 4th year in general, or a 4th year which is based on a research project or maybe even an internship, right? These are the 2-3 possibilities. We will get there very soon, I would say very soon. So keep in touch with us and we'll give you clarity on that, Shreyas. Okay. All right. Along with +2 marks, would you also look at SAT scores? If you have SAT scores, yes, we'll be more than happy to look at it. Given the kind of craziness that is happening around us, we are looking at +2, +1, and even 10th grades, because we have a lot of data that tells us that even 10th grades, good performance in 10th grades is a predictor that a student is good and can succeed. So when we look at it from that perspective, we are looking at a holistic set of criteria, including, as I said, scores from 10th, 11th, 12th, SAT scores, absolutely. We also have our own exam. If you haven't taken SAT, which is the Pearson VUE exam, you can talk to the admissions people and they will give you more details on that. Okay. All right. Can we look at masters at Cornell? Yes, in a way. Let me first answer the question in in a very clear term. all of these, especially, you know, the big schools, Ivy League schools like Cornell, they don't listen to anyone. Okay, let me first say that. So there's nothing like a direct pathway to masters at Cornell from Mahindra. So let's put that aside. That said, schools, when I say schools, you know, universities and colleges across the world, especially the good ones, are desperately looking for good students. And especially in these kinds of times, they're unable to travel across the world. They're unable to, you know, take part in these, you know, education fairs and so on. So they're getting even more, you know, when I say not desperate, but they're seriously looking to see, you know, where they can get good students, right? So from that perspective, yes, we are partners with Cornell. We can always suggest good profiles like yourself if you believe that you are eligible for Cornell, and they'll be more than happy to look at it. Because if your resume is coming from a partner school, and if they already have seen you because of the immersion, and Cornell professors will be coming and teaching you, then they will be more than happy to take you, right? So that you have to look at it from the admissions people at these universities, right? So yeah, in that sense, the way we will train you, you will be eligible for masters at Cornell in the you know, the good way, and you just have to give it a shot straight away. And by the way, students from Mahindra have gone to many top schools like Cornell, University of Berkeley, California, Berkeley, Stanford, and so on and so forth. So yes. Do we have a research facility? I don't know what that means. This is a business school. We will have a lot of research with companies going on. So, for example, a technology center and those kinds of things. But if you want to do more beyond that, yes, the School of Engineering does have a lot of technology labs. For example, the School of Engineering set up a supercomputer lab with one of the most expensive supercomputers that is available in India today. And if you're really interested, you can collaborate with them. We will obviously have programs in AI and virtual reality, and using that as your base, you can collaborate and find research projects in these kinds of labs, right? So the world is your oyster when it comes to adding up different skills that you really want to add to your profile. All right, how many students on the campus currently? Okay, so the business school is new. We are launching the business school this year, right? We are essentially looking at 90 students, a little bit more than 90 if possible. We have 3 programs, a BA in economics and finance, a BBA in computational business analytics, and a BBA in digital technologies, and 30, maximum 35 for each program, right? So if you ask the question, how many students on the campus for the business school? This will be the first year. We will have probably 100 students. How many students overall? More than 1500, because there is the College of Engineering, there will be a College of Law, and a lot of students are there in the engineering program because the engineering program has been there for more than 7 years, and a lot of students will also come with the School of Law. So you will have lots and lots of students on the campus. My urge to you is go to the website, look at the photos of the campus, the facilities, and if possible, be in touch with the admissions team, because once the shutdown is over, you can go and visit the awesome campus at Bahadurpally. Okay, Vinod. All right. Advait Nair is asking a question. I want to pursue my higher education after BBA with this specialty. What would be the ideal course? You mean in the higher education, right? That's how I understand it. Good. It's a good question. I wanted to talk about that, but I was hoping that some of you will ask this question. Now, the way the program is designed, you will be easily eligible for 3 to 4 different types of higher education programs. You may not be directly eligible for, let's say, high-end computing courses, because that's not the intent. But of course, you can still join them and you can take bridge courses and so on. If you really want to get into technology development, computing, operating systems, and those kinds of things. But if you want to stay within the field of management and business, the kind of courses that you're taking here will give you the bare minimum, not the bare minimum, in fact, the basic credits that are required for you to get into any program in MIS, any program in cybersecurity, obviously premium MBA programs for sure, right? Basically, you will be eligible for any program, even with a lot of technology flair, in any good business school across the world. So yes, the answer is Would you be eligible for good courses in across the world and good universities? The answer is yes. The kind of training that you will get in the program, you will have a lot of leverage in terms of trying out different types of master's programs. Okay. Okay, thank you. Presentation was very informative. My question is, would the summer immersion in Cornell be covered under the BBA fee apart from the travel part? No, this will be extra. This will be extra for the immersion, and you have to pay that separately, including travel and stay and everything. We are obviously, regularly talking to Cornell people. In fact, we have weekly meetings to design these kinds of things, and we are trying as much as possible to reduce the cost. But no, the cost will not be included in the BBA fee, tuition fees. All right. Do we expect offline classes from the start? Shreyas, there is a person you need to know, a very important person. His name is KCR. He is the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. We also have another important person you need to know, Mr. Modi, who's the Prime Minister. Anyway, jokes apart, we don't know yet. We are hoping that given the way the vaccinations are going, and we are hearing good things from all kinds of government people, we are hoping that we can at least start offline classes by December, and really praying that we start off offline straight from day one. That is the hope. We are planning for a lot of things. In fact, we are planning for a lot of activities even before the program start, so that we just don't quickly get into the online mode and do a lot more in a human to human condition. But we will update you as plans evolve. Okay. For a student, Vinod is asking, who is keen to do his own business, which is the suggested management course from the 3 options currently available. Okay. All the 3 programs are designed for people who want to do their business. Because see, you can build a business in any area. You can build a business in finance, you can build a business in technology, or you can build a business in analytics. So many ways in which you can do a startup. So as I told you, the Mahindra University has a very strong incubation cell. Entrepreneurship will be a common theme across all the programs. Our dean, Professor Rama Velamuri, is a world-renowned expert in entrepreneurship, by the way, just to give you a perspective. So your entrepreneurship classes will be by the dean, Professor Rama Velamuri. You can read about him on our website as well. So one, entrepreneurship training will be a core part of the program. This will become the underlying base for the entire program. From that point on, how well you develop your business plan, how well you pitch it to different people, and all those things is a personal skill that you develop. Okay, you will get the resources from Mahindra, you will get the training from Mahindra. From there, that becomes a good launch pad, and from there, how high you jump is something that you have to decide for your own. So if you're asking me a question, which of the 3 bachelor's programs is most eligible, I would say all 3. Then you have to decide in which area you want to become or build your own startup. Okay, Vinod. All right. What is the eligibility criteria in terms of 12th marks? We are looking for good students. Let me make that very clear. Because Mahindra University is a premium university and we do have a collaboration with Cornell. So we want good students who can withstand the rigor of the program, right? Don't take that in a negative way, because it's not like we'll drive you crazy, but yeah, we are looking for good students. So very specifically, I will not give you any numbers. I would say talk to the admissions people, because they will they'll have the moving numbers in terms of how many applicants and what kind of percentages. But yeah, one way I can tell you this is the eligibility criteria is pretty good, in the sense that we are looking for good people. And if you are able to show, at the same time, yeah, if you're able to show excellence in some area, that will make us very happy, and that will make us look at you in a very serious manner. All right, where are we? Will Cornell look at campus placement? Yeah, I think I have answered this question. Do you have hostel accommodation for female students? Absolutely, we have fantastic hostel facilities. As I said, I urge you to look at the campus photos on the website And once the shutdown is over, I would say come down and actually take a look at the campus. It's a brilliant campus, one of the best campuses that you will see in this area. And so from a campus facilities perspective, you need not have any doubts. Is there an exemption from maths taking additional exams so that to pursue BA in economics? No, there is no exemption. Math is a core skill that we want to have, because BA economics and finance and BBA in analytics are decently math intensive, lot of data, a lot of statistics and so on. So we will not give an exemption for people who do not have math, unfortunately. You can still take BBA digital technologies, build your portfolio, and you can still do a lot of courses in analytics, as you have some of these in the BBA digital technologies as well. But no, there is no pass for not having math, unfortunately. I understand, Shreyas. As I answered the question, there is no exemption for math when it comes to BA and BBA analytics. BBA digital technologies will be what you will be eligible for. But let me repeat this. If you are interested in analytics as a core or data as a core, BBA digital technologies also does offer a lot of analytics courses. So that should make you happy. But yeah, I mean, take a look at the curriculum and see if that excites you or not. Okay, good question, Vinod. Is there a flexibility to choose subjects from the other two courses? Yes, you will have that flexibility. In fact, all of you will start with the basics foundation, right? The management foundation. So all the three programs will go through, will be sitting in the same classes. You'll be taking the same courses. And after that point, for example, let's say you join BA in economics and finance, but something in the analytics program excites you now after the first year. Depending on your CGPA and your performance, there is the possibility that you can slide into the analytics stream or the technology stream, or vice versa. For example, you might join the analytics stream initially, but you might get excited about economics and finance. You do get an option to slide from analytics program to the economics and finance program. The slide may not be easy for people who have joined the BBA in digital technologies, because as I said, math is a core skill that we are mandating for the two programs. So a digital technology student may not be able to slide into finance or analytics, but students from finance and analytics will be able to slide into digital technologies, right? And if you really want to audit courses and if you have time, yeah, absolutely, you can always talk to professors, you can talk to the management, and you can do audits and things like that. Yes. Any separate seats for TS residents? No, as much as I know, but maybe the admissions people can clarify that. As much as I know, there is nothing like a Telangana quota. Rakesh, can you just quickly clarify that?
I've responded by chat to the student, Professor.
Oh, okay. All right, fantastic. I would like to know more about the business analyst program. You mean the business analytics program? Fantastic. So we will also have webinars on the business analytics program very soon. So be in touch with the admissions people, express your interest, and you will get an invitation for a webinar like this for the business analytics program, and you can ask a lot of questions there, right? Plus, of course, you can visit the website and read more about the program. If you go to the Mahindra University website and then subsequently go to the Mahindra University School of Management website, the three programs are listed separately. You click on them and there is a lot of detail on the curriculum, the eligibility criteria, and so on and so forth. You can read about it now and express your interest to the admissions people, and they will invite you for the next webinar. Okay. Will the engagement with students start before the final 12th results, as we still don't have? So yeah, since the exams are cancelled, we are obviously looking, as I explained, with so many other data points to admit students. So we are not waiting for anything on the 12th exams per se. We will generally get a sense of your 12th results, and if we have any doubt, we'll give you a conditional admission. But not having 12th results should not stop you from applying for the program, because yeah, the times are crazy and we are also adapting to those kinds of changes. Okay, so Geetanjali, if you're interested in the program, don't wait for your 12th results, apply, and we'll start discussions from there, and let's see where it goes. Okay. Will BBA qualify to explore masters in finance and other MIS? Yeah, absolutely. So you have to understand that the way universities are set up in, for example, US or UK, is anybody is eligible for anything. It doesn't mean that everybody joins all kinds of programs. So what I mean by that is, for example, I taught in the MBA programs, but I had students who joined the MBA program after qualifying in doing their bachelor's in music. The way the programs are set up is, they will first, during the admissions time, they'll try and understand why you're so excited about finance, right? Even though you don't have a background in finance. If you really prove to them that you are able to handle finance the way it is taught in these good schools, they will also put you in qualifying courses, or what are called as bridge courses. You will have some basic courses where you'll be trained in the basics of finance. By the way, you'll also get that in this program as well. So from that perspective, yeah, you will be eligible for a lot of different programs. You'll be easily eligible for any program in any business school across the world. If you want to go beyond business schools, you have to think about it a little bit more. But yeah, absolutely, you will be eligible for even masters in finance, MBA in finance, or anything like that. There will be a webinar on computational business analytics, so please express your interest to the admissions people, and they will give you an invite. Yeah, I understood, Anurag. Hotel, yeah, we don't have hotels, but we do have hostels. Awesome. Minimum percentage, as I said, we are looking for good students. I urge you to talk to the admissions people, and they will fill you up on what kind of percentages are eligible for this program, because different programs have different percentages. I will not answer this question, but then yeah, the admissions people will be able to answer this question to you. Are there any subjects taken by visiting faculty? Absolutely, yeah. Faculty from Cornell will be visiting Mahindra in Hyderabad. You will be taking courses with Cornell faculty in Cornell. And this will be happening across all the 3 years. It is not just a show. And these will be serious faculty who will come and teach serious topics, and you will have a lot of fun with them. The world-renowned school with world-renowned faculty. This is a new college. Won't there be any problem regarding the teachers? No, absolutely. In fact, we are hiring the best from across the country and the world. We have showcased 4 profiles on the website, but the actual number of faculty we have hired so far is 12, and from different streams, and many of them are PhDs from abroad. Well, we have, for example, I have a PhD from US. Our dean has a PhD from University of Virginia, and he has worked in some of the top business schools in the world. And many of our faculty have PhDs from IIM Ahmedabad or Bangalore or IIM Lucknow, right? So these are the kind of faculty we are hiring. Just because you have 4 profiles on the website does not mean we have not hired. Many of them are serving their notice period. You will see the full list of faculty on the website probably within 2 months, I would say. So keep checking the website to see what kind of faculty are joining. Okay. Like to be an entrepreneur, suggest me a course. That's a tough answer, because as I told you, entrepreneurship is a basic requirement, or a basic underlying theme for this entire BBA program. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, yeah, this could be a good option for you. Absolutely. Student clubs, student activities, workshops, internships, projects, there will be a lot of these. Without that, there is nothing like a college. We will have marketing clubs, we will have consulting clubs, we will have analytics clubs, and these will be run by students, not professors. And you, as if you have leadership qualities, if you can build these clubs and run these things, fantastic. That is exactly what we want, because that is how you're trained, not just sitting in the classroom and getting grades. So yeah, there will be incredible opportunities for engagement with the industry as well as within each other. In addition to so many extracurricular activities, because the campus is awesome. There are lots of sports facilities. So yeah, the world is your oyster. How much time you have and how much time you want to spend on these kinds of activities is a choice that you have to make, Shreyas. Okay, but the opportunities will be endless. Can we change right now from digital technologies? Yeah, sure, absolutely. You still haven't applied, so yeah, you can directly apply for computational business analytics. That's completely your choice. Will there be any sports? I think I've answered that, but let me repeat that. Visit the campus, you will know what I'm talking about. A world-class clubhouse, tennis courts, basketball courts, volleyball courts, you name it. There is a facility like that within the campus, including a world-class swimming pool, gym, and whatnot, right? So once the campus starts, there will be a lot of fun when it comes to sports and extracurricular activities. So you don't need to have any doubt regarding that. It's a beautiful 130-acre campus. I'd urge again everybody to, once the shutdown is over, come over, talk to the admissions people and set up a campus visit to see the campus and even interact with the faculty if we are there. Okay, fantastic. I'm so happy that there are so many questions that came up. I'm assuming that I have answered a lot of questions. If there are more, you can always get in touch with the admissions people. But more importantly, if you want to know more about what is happening on the campus, new faculty joining, new updates regarding, the kinds of companies that we are collaborating with, I urge you, you'll also get an invite, but let's say just go now, and you can directly go to our Instagram page or even the Facebook page and connect with us. You can also directly go to the website and you will have the social media links there. Go there. There'll be three things that will be happening. One is all the questions that you have asked, you will get answers to them again and again in multiple formats. For example, what kind of careers are possible? What kind of higher education opportunities are possible? You will get updates on the kind of good faculty that are joining. You'll get updates on the Cornell collaboration. For example, what exactly will you do in the Cornell immersion program? You will get an update on what kind of companies have now signed up with us to do internships and things like that. So my urge to you is connect with us, because you can ask these questions there, and either the admissions people or the faculty will answer these questions on the social media handles. So without hesitation, go there and connect, and there'll be so many more answers to these questions. So with that in mind, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. I'm happy that all of you are considering Mahindra, and I'm hoping to see at least some of you in the classroom starting whenever we start. Thank you so much.
Mahindra University. Global thinkers, engaged leaders.